being emotionally reactive is what holds you back. It's why you keep gaining weight, why you avoid social interaction, why you keep wasting time. You eat whenever you're stressed or bored. Dating takes a back seat out of insecurity. Fear and impatience keep getting in the way of the business you want to start. You've probably had an experience where you've started, you've put in the work, you're close to the end, and then you let it all fall apart. But it's all in your head. It's because you keep reacting to emotion, to how you feel. The solution is to detach. Here's how. So we'll get into how other people can trigger your emotions, both in social interactions and in marketing. But first, I want to get into how you play with your emotions yourself. You let your mind drift to the past or the future, and that's out of insecurity and desire. Then that's followed by emotion, and that emotion affects the decisions that you make, which can work against your long-term interest. Let's use the example of starting a business. If you're like myself, you're educated and ambitious, but it's being too smart that holds you back. People whose minds are smaller are less aware of the chance of failure, so they take more risk. And because they're less hesitant, they are more confident in their decisions, which increases their chances of success. They also have less options. They have to make this work. Meanwhile, you can apply yourself to anything. You could go the normal route, get a job, experience little risk, and do very well. You see too many options. You're on one path and you're seeing 100 others. But it's having those options that keep playing with your head. It's you letting your mind drift to desires and insecurities that are causing that. So working with desire and insecurity is a deeper rooted issue. I want to focus on the emotions that follow. Emotions are an evolutionary mechanism. They're there to help us make decisions and motivate us to behave in certain ways. Like in the wild, fear motivated us to run from danger. Envy motivated us to climb up the social ladder. Anger motivated us to protect what is ours. But when you're working towards long-term goals, like starting a business, emotions just get in the way. Like, it's impatience that has you looking at other options. It's fear of failure that has you doubting the path that you're on. If you want to make progress in life, you have to learn how to override those emotions. You start doing that by taking a step back and recognizing the source of the emotion, your desires and insecurities. As soon as you do that, you detach from the emotion itself. And now you're faced with a choice. React to the emotion or ignore it. And when you're making that decision, think about whether reacting to that emotion will work towards your long-term goals. More often than not, it doesn't. And once you recognize that, you can start making decisions from a place of clarity. And then as results start coming in from the decisions you made earlier, you can take comfort in knowing that ignoring your emotion was the right choice. So I've talked on how you yourself can trigger your emotions and get in the way of progress. Other people can do the same thing. So let's carry on with the business example. When you're starting a business, feeling lonely, under pressure, frustrated, and even jealous are all part of the process. Starting a business is something that everyone wants to do. And on social media, you'll see countless people doing it, but it's still uncommon. Most people will go the traditional route and get a job, and they'll have all the benefits of doing that. They'll have stability and they can relate to everyone else. Then when you spend time around those people, those feelings I mentioned like frustration and jealousy will only get stronger. And sometimes that's because of what they say, like older people saying you're wasting time because they're unable to see your vision, the bigger picture. Other times, they don't even say anything. It's just from their micro expressions, the slight smirk on their face, or even a look of concern that ends up getting to your head. So I've already mentioned one function of emotion, which is decision making. The other is communication. And that helps us again back in the wild where we lived in tribes. When you expressed emotion, it communicated to others how you feel. And then from that, we can make a shared decision. And that is called empathy, when you can relate to another person and how they're feeling. It's like when you're watching a movie and you feel exactly what the character is feeling. That's how you know what another person is thinking, even if they don't say anything, like a smirk on their face or a look of concern. But you don't have to let it get to you. You can just observe. Imagine being a scientist, watching a chemical reaction, the reaction being other people, their expression, tone of voice, and the words they use. That mental frame gives you another level of detachment. It takes you out of the scenario itself. People can laugh at you, criticize you, or even look down on you, and you won't feel a thing. It's like a shield. Anything anyone says or does hits that shield, and you don't allow it to get in. That enables you to maintain an internal state of calm. And from that place, you can continue making decisions that will work towards your long-term interests. So we've talked on the internal world, how your own desires and insecurities can play with your emotions and affect the decisions that you make. Then we talked on the real world, how social interactions can do the same thing. And now we have the digital world. So we're increasingly spending more time online. And that digital space, the digital world, offers another opportunity for people to play with our emotions. It allows them to influence us, to push us in a direction that they want us to go, not necessarily where we intend. So let's carry on with that business example. Let's say your business has now picked up and money is coming in. That's when your desires and insecurities will play up again. You'll want to buy nice things like watches, cars, holidays. But that is a short-term decision based on instant gratification and the need for external validation. But all you're doing there is falling into a trap. Those nice things that you'll buy only increase your expenses, which limit your ability to reinvest in your business. And that's a trap that many fall into, and some spend years trying to get back out. The world has changed, but human nature hasn't. And it's the marketers who I mentioned before that understand that. They know what drives us: fear, envy, and the need for status. And they craft messages that play to those desires. And like I was saying before, that pushes us in the direction that they want us to go, not where we do. The only way to remove that entirely is by spending no time online at all, but that isn't realistic. Instead, you have to learn how to play that game yourself. The power is in words. A sentence, a string of words, can change how you feel. It can change your emotional state. And that can make you more likely to carry out certain actions, which is what marketers play with. Your job is to increase your awareness, whether you're on a landing page or on social media. Instead of taking in the messages that people are saying, whether it's written or spoken, try to understand the emotion that they're trying to instigate. And that puts you in a similar frame of mind to the two scenarios I said before. It puts you in a state of observation, not reaction. And now you can determine whether reacting to that message, whether it's on a landing page or on social media, work towards your long-term goals or not. It basically gives you the clarity you need to make rational decisions, not emotional ones. I've used the example of starting a business throughout this video, but everything I've said, you can apply to fitness and relationships as well. Like in the first part where I talked about desires and insecurity, you can apply that in the fitness space by not giving into the emotions that make you overeat. Or you can apply that in the dating space by not overthinking approaching a girl. And in the second part, I talked about not reacting to other people and their opinions. In the fitness space, that would mean not getting tempted by your friends or family. In the dating space, that would mean not giving into playing games and allowing yourself to get manipulated. And in the third section, I talked about the digital world in marketing and media. and how you can detach yourself from the messages that you see there. In the fitness space, that would mean if you see an advert for chocolate or pizza, you don't listen to it. You detach from what you're seeing. In the dating space, that would mean not listening to any red pill advice and sticking to your own instincts. So in essence, the key is to always practice emotional detachment. If you do, you'll stay focused on what actually matters, and then everything else will fall into place.